So, among my number of my projects, I've been working on this connection between the trad wife movement and the heritage industry, right? Sort of as this dark corner of public history. Specifically, how places like Colonial Williamsburg, decorating with style, and Mount Vernon have shaped the aesthetics and values that movements like that thrive on. But while I was digging into this, I made the mistake of wandering into Mount Vernon's online gift shop. I know. I should have waited, or maybe I should have asked someone else to look for me. But no, there I was, scrolling through the kinds of items they sell. And then I came to a crashing stop. Well, first I found this. A mythical sculpture of Washington. Quote, in a moment of solemn reflection, kneeling in prayer. For $65, you can own a little piece of this fiction. Because, let's be honest about it. Washington spent more Sundays fox hunting than he did in church. But sure, let's pretend he was the paragon of religious devotion. We'll send this to the superintendent of Oklahoma schools. Then I found this. A journal called Washington's 5 Farms. Now, those 5 farms, as we have talked about, they weren't just sort of happy-go-lucky farms, hard-scrabble people just going ahead and innovating with agricultural improvements. They were forced labor camps. These 5 farms represent hundreds of people living and dying under brutal conditions on each of those farms, exploited every day from dawn to dusk, all to line Washington's pockets. But there it is in the gift shop, repackaged as a cute little keepsake. But then it got worse when I found this. For $6.95, you can buy the Lives Bound Together journal. So let me read you how Mount Vernon describes it. Faith, hope, and love are inscribed on Mount Vernon's slave memorial, which was dedicated in 1983. These words embody the virtues that sustained those living in bondage. These inspiring words and lives bound together are printed in white on this black faux leather personal journal. So let's talk maybe about what's not printed on the journal. Words like slavery, oppression, brutality, intergenerational trauma. Nothing about Martha Washington's claims that enslaved people were just ungrateful. Nothing about George Washington's firm belief that a good whipping was necessary to curb impertinence in enslaved women. This journal is what we're talking about when we say these places continue to exploit the memory of enslaved people in the same way their lives were exploited. They erase the systemic violence, the horrors of bondage, and they replace it with these vague, feel-good words like faith, hope, and love. Hang it in your kitchen. And they frame it in true patriot myth style, right? Erase it from any direct connection to Washington, as if the Washingtons had nothing to do with the suffering of those people, as if they were simply victims of circumstance sustained by some abstract virtues, while Washington himself profited from their misery. What do we do with this? Especially as this kind of thing becomes the master narrative of the 1776 Commission and Project 2025. We know how close these places are to organizations like the Heritage Foundation or Moms for Liberty, and how they're going to be leaning into the years of celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Revolution and the War for Independence, painting it in exactly this mythological style. Is it enough to demand better? Or does Mount Vernon, Colonial Williamsburg, and all these other places, do they just continue to comfortably sanitize the past for profit? And for maybe political gain? So they can continue to repackage the trauma of enslaved people into merchandise that erases the realities of their suffering while still earning from it. Mount Vernon's staff, it's entirely white. The guy that they just hired to be head of their leadership programs, a another white guy. Faith, hope, and love might have worked a little bit, but it didn't sustain people living in bondage. You know what did? Courage, resilience, and the determination to survive, despite the unimaginable brutality that the Washingtons and their cohort threw at them every day. And, by the way, you can have it gift wrapped for Christmas. They recommend pairing it with a purchase of Mount Vernon's honey pot. True. Go check it out.